What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Style Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam.
Oh, you can really feel that in your spirit, and that does, thank you so much, bring me on to my second guest here for our journey through Windrush. Mind me flowers. Sorry, that was oh my God, this is, I do feel like we've gone back in time. My late parents would be so envious. The only thing I'm missing is the plastic that we had to, do you remember plastic you had to sit on? Don't mash up my seat. Anyway, friends, welcome again. And my guest now is Dr. Tony Tolbert. Tony, a renowned historian, author of so many books. The most recent one that you've got there, actually, I think is really interesting, Tony. Realigning and repositioning Africa, confronting challenges and charting its own courses in the 21st century. Just before I ask you a little bit, tell me about you and that new book. Why is that so important for us to still be reading and be aware of our African history?
Oh, right, that's better. Yeah, I think if we don't have a sense of where we're coming from, we certainly won't know what we're doing here, and we can't explain ourselves properly. And with this book, a number of us came together, and what we wanted to do was basically document African experiences in Africa, in the African diaspora, and talk about what is happening in our experiences from an African perspective. And so that's what this book is all about.
And although we won't have time, of course, we would love more time on this, there'll be some probably in the audience thinking, but do I see myself as African, or do I see myself as British? Do I see myself as British Caribbean? And because we're, of course, talking about Windrush, that still seems to be a question that many may not feel that comfortable with, saying that they're looking at their African heritage and their roots in that way.
Yeah. Well, the gentleman who just played the drums, Asher
B.
Where does that sound come from? Many people eat rice and peas. Where does that come from? Many people speak local Caribbean languages. Let me say languages.
They are
Creole languages.
Yes.
Where do they come from? So there's a lot of African or Africa within us that we don't even recognize, respect, or acknowledge. And it's there, whether we want to accept it or not, it's there.
And that's the fact, isn't it? And I think for our younger people, when they're probably now third, fourth, even probably fifth generation Caribbean African heritage, I gather you're saying it's still very important for our younger generations to be aware of that fact.
Yeah, I think it's very important. If you're to understand yourself, your family, your experiences, you have a reference point. And I think that's absolutely crucial. Yeah.
Now, the beauty about having a day like Windrush is not just to remember the Empire Windrush, which of course, in terms of media hype, that was needed. But it goes beyond that, and that's what I think is going to be interesting for us for the next few minutes. And when we were talking about this in the green room there, you said a phrase that I really thought was key. You said that colonialism is not new. Tell us what you mean by that.
I always say to my students, how you interpret history is often determined by where you start the story. If we start the story in 1948, we will assume that that's where black people started to come into Britain in large numbers. Some of my students actually thought that. And then they were shocked when we started to look at documentary evidence looking at the black presence in these two islands hundreds of years ago. And in fact, when we talk about colonialism, this idea that one country can politically dominate another country and rule it as its colony, as part of its territory. This is not new, and it doesn't start with Europe. So I think I was hinting, saying to you that if we go back, and this also explains why we have a Windrush and the Windrush generation. If we go back to Roman times, nearly 2,000 years ago, there were Roman soldiers here. Within the within that Roman Empire, there were black soldiers, there were black people in the Roman army. So they were here in Britain 2,000 years ago. Black people from North Africa in Britain. How did they come about to be in Britain at this time? Colonial, well, if you like, it's the Romans coming over to these two islands to defend it, specifically against Scotland at that time, England against Scotland. But what I'm saying is, it's all about one country or other countries seeking to establish authority over others. Their peoples come over, cultures are exchanged, and we get a rich tapestry of modern culture. And this is part and parcel of what we see right now even this front room.
Exactly, we need to talk about the front room and the gram. The gram, Christ is the head of this whole unseen. I've got that in my office as well because it's all part of it. But I want to just go back a little bit again because I just think I just like to stress that point because one of my favourite films was Gladiator, father of a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife. And we had, and of course you could look at that again and think Hollywood have painted a picture to make it look good for viewing, for figures. That we had, I think it was Dijon, his name, or Dimion, who was one of the black characters in Gladiator. But what I'm hearing is actually, Nikki, there is some factual truth to it, that the Moors, North Africans, were already part of the Roman Empire. And I think those are those facts that we sometimes don't get, which is what Amma was saying in regard to education.
Sure.
We don't hear.
Yeah, and these things are important because you mentioned the Moors, but again, that black experience in Britain, it really is not modern. And this is why I was saying colonialism is not new. Yeah. We even have one of the emperors of Rome, who of course, Septimius Severus, who of course ruled Britain. So here is a North African Roman emperor who is ruling Britain. So yes, Britain really did have a black king.
In case people didn't get that, yes, a black man did rule Britain. Just want to get it out there. Just want to put it out there.
And that's before the Anglo-Saxons. This is before the Anglo-Saxons. The Anglo-Saxons, they come hundreds of years later. So here's an African ruling Britain, 2nd century AD.
That's all you have to do, just nod your head. Just nod your head like that. Wonderful to hear. But bringing it up to the era that we're talking about, yes, we said the front room, the way that our parents, grandparents wanted to make the front room, that more so in any part of the house, the place. Where does that actually stem from?
Yeah, a lot of these practices come from the, if you like, the Victorian period. If you can't be elitist in your own plantation settlement, where are you going to be? You must have a special spot, a sacred spot. And so when I was growing up in Jamaica, of all places, we still had this kind of setting. And when I came to England, when I was here in England as a youngster, we still have this kind of setting. And I think there's an attempt to recreate this kind of home feeling and this kind of special place. And the slaves had it on the plantations, and we see it after that as well. When many Caribbean people came to Britain, they had almost this sacred space. Even I used to say to my mom, "What, you're wasting a room. The room, there's a big house, and nobody goes in the front room. What is the purpose of that front room? We don't need it today. Change it.
And it's funny, actually, because it feels like there's a story that probably some of us would know with regard to cake. And a little girl sees her grandmother, or her mother rather, cutting a round cake, but making a square cake, baking a square cake, but cutting the edges off. And the little girl's going, well, Mom, why are you doing that? And she said, I don't know. Go and find your grandmother. So she runs and finds her grandmother. And she says to grandmother, why are you cutting off the edges off the cake? I don't know. Go and ask your great-grandmother. She runs and asks her great-grandmother. And the great-grandmother says, why did I cut off the edges? Because I only had a round tin, not a square one. Or, the words to that effect. Yeah. And is that, do you think, some of the legacy as to why there was that need to keep one room, in a sense, sacred?
Yeah, when it comes to, the one room is just one example, but there are so many examples of Caribbean practices that we do. For example, we still have Saturday soup within the Jamaican...
yes.
Right, I hear some people saying yes.
Yes, I heard a few over here, Saturday soup, yes.
But that Saturday soup is really the slaves' breakfast. You heard me right. This is what the slaves were cooking on the plantations about between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. That's what they would typically have for breakfast. Everything went in the pot. Callaloo went in that pot. Yes, there was. This is what the evidence is telling us. And they were cooking this thick stew. And this becomes the slaves' breakfast. And when slavery is abolished, some of these foods and these practices would change. Mango and things like this was not popular in the Caribbean. That doesn't come till 1787. Mango, breadfruit, ackee. These are not Caribbean foods indigenously. They come from elsewhere. But yet, that we would incorporate these into the culture, and we have them today, and we assume, these are the Caribbean food. No. Not originally. Some of the slaves, they wouldn't have known some of these foods. Breadfruit is, I think, 1820 or thereabouts, 19th century. So what I'm saying is, we do a lot of things, but sometimes we don't know why we're doing it. We just do it because grandmother do it and mommy do it or whatever, and we just copy.
But in light of that, though, it shouldn't negate the joy that we have when you say you're going to go around to grandma's or to someone's to have your Saturday soup.
Yeah.
Because I think that may throw one or two of us now going, it was slave food, I don't think I can have it. But what I'm hearing is, no, just know the origins of these practices, but don't throw everything out because it still brings some joy. It still gives you a foundation, would you not say?
Yes, I mean, these things are important because we can see that hundreds of years of cultural practices has culminated in things that we do to this very day, the way we talk. Some of the patois, some of the words, they're coming straight out of West Africa, in many of the patois across the Caribbean. We still do that today. So we can't deny some of our, go back to your first question about the cultural heritage. Yes. It's right there, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, it's there.
Fascinating. I feel like I could sit here with you all day, Tony. But we have things to do.
I know. Okay.
But for now, thank you so much, Dr. Tony Tolbert, just giving us some insight into our history, our origins. Really appreciate it. And again, just a plug for your new book. Let me just make sure I get this right. Realigning and repositioning Africa, confronting challenges and charting its own courses in the 21st century. Yep. Dr. Tony Tolbert, thank you very much for talking to me. Brilliant. Wonderful. Fascinating to hear that conversation. And that leads us to our first, we could say, vocal musical contribution to our journey through Windrush. 3 young ladies that have a very, very special bond in the sense that they're sisters. 2 of them with a wonderful story that if I had time we would share it today, but we don't. But please make them feel extremely welcome. They love to sing together. They love celebrating their faith, the Christian faith as well, through their music. So put your hands together, make them feel welcome. The Moet Sisters. Thank you.
Hey everyone. Hi. Are you guys enjoying the event so far? All right. right, the song we're going to be singing is called Favor by Kurt Franklin. And when we think of all the history of the Windrush and how God has been faithful to us as people, as we've evolved into this society, we can't help but feel and reflect on the fact that God's blessings outshine it all. So we will want your contribution to clap your hands and maybe stand to your feet if you can. All right. And we're going to be singing a cappella. I was too afraid to believe it, or not good enough to receive it. My season's gone, so why do I need it? This one's the story of my life. Told so much that I wasn't worthy. I even tried love, but then love hurt me. I shouted, but for God never heard me. I became the victim of my life. See, everybody goes through the fire, but not everyone comes out like gold. I started low, but God took me higher. He gets the praise and the world will know. I will live and not die. I will win with tears in my eyes. I'll be judged and criticized only by those too afraid to try. I'm living in blessings and favor. See God exchange my pain for something greater for me. Right now, not later, for all you've been through. Blessings and favors waiting for you. Favor, ooh, favor. Blessings and favor. I was too afraid to believe it, or not good enough to receive it. My season's gone, so why do I need it? This one's the story of my life. Told so much that I wasn't worthy. I even tried love, but then love hurt me. I shouted, but for God never heard me. I became the victim of my life. See, everybody goes through the fire, but not everyone comes out like gold. I started low, but God took me higher. He gets the praise and the world will know. I will live and not die. I will win with tears in my eyes. I'll be judged and criticized only by those too afraid to try. I'm living in blessings and favor. See God exchange my pain for something greater for me. Right now, not later, for all you've been through. Blessings and favors waiting for you. Favor, ooh, favor. Blessings and favor. See, favor's not material things. None of the treasure this world can bring. It's when God's hand is on your life, and when you know what real love means. I'm living in favor, ooh, favor. Favor, blessings and favor for you. Favor, ooh, favor. Favor, blessings and favor for you. Favor, ooh, favor. Never-ending God-given favor.
Oh, well done. Give your hand again, Moet sisters. Wonderful to hear them sing. And they nicely introduce us to our next kind of segue and chapter in the Windrush era, talking about the church and the contribution, we could say, of the church. I've mentioned it there, that I have that in my office space. Christ is the head of this house, the unseen guest at every meal, the silent listener to every conversation. Anybody else got a copy of this in the home? One hand there, strong, that's straight up. Not embarrassed to say they have there. Not at all. I remember when I used to have, Sharon remember Mrs. Laidley that used to look after me, and that was a key one. She had it on a red background. And so, interesting for us to talk about the church. We've heard about our African heritage, and we want to have that continue when it comes to African spirituality. So please put your hands together for a key person who's been a champion of acknowledging our African roots when it comes to faith and religion, Reverend Canon Eve Pitts. Rocking the blue hair. Thank you so much, Eve. Oh, hang on, I can't imagine. Do me a favor, move to that side so that because I don't want you to block my flowers and my crochet pieces. You're knocking off the crochet pieces. Don't come in my sitting room and mash up. How dare we mash up the... Can you imagine? I can just see my mum now going, what, Nicolette? What are you doing with my crochet pieces?
It's like being at home.
Hang on, let me do this. Let me press you. There you go. It should turn to green. There you go. Go on.
It's like being at home.
It is.
You know those days when it was just a privilege to go into the sitting, into the... Yeah. And I remember I had a terrible experience. Shh. I broke one of the glass. I know. And I hid it behind another one.
Oh,
I know.
Oh.
And you know those days when your mother said, and use a certain tone.
Yes.
Vadney? Yes, Mom. Come down here. Yes, Mom. I didn't have any brothers and sisters to blame. I couldn't say, well, it's so-and-so did it. I said, I was just trying to help. So ever since then, we hate the front room. Sorry, no, I didn't.
I know.
The front room was essential, wasn't it?
It was, and really key to some of our time. But not only was it a room that you didn't go into, you could probably go into it on a Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were going to have prayer.
Absolutely. My mother used to, the routine in many Caribbean homes of my mother's generation was some Jim Reeves. Hands up those who, Jim Reeves? Yes, I hate Jim Reeves, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I do. And if I didn't go to church, she would say, put on some Jim Reeves in the front room. And my job was to put the records on, you know. So I grew up not liking Jim Reeves. But the front room, when my mother died 10 years ago, I must be one of the few people who I have saved all my mother's furniture, including the front room. Me not show it where my mother legacy, and my mother legacy. So I've kept the front room. I've just modernized it.
Modernized it, yes.
And it's working. It works all right.
We're going to talk a little more about that in terms of the key place it played for many Black Caribbeans coming over. But let's go back to carrying on a little bit of the conversation from Dr. Tony Tolbert there with regard to the African roots, which is a very key importance to you in terms of your spiritual journey. Thank you, everyone. If I could just ask, thank you, just to keep it down a little bit at the back.
Come on, folks. Shh.
Thank you. That has also played a key part in your life journey.
Oh, absolutely. When I was growing up, I grew up in the New Testament Church of God. And when I was in Jamaica as a little girl, all the ministers used to come to our house to stay. And from all over the world, well, Canada, America, England, and they stayed at our house. And my grandmother was a teacher and a pianist. So it used to be in our house that all the ministers gathered. So when they preached in the church next door, the New Testament Church of God, they would then come to our house for a meal. So I grew up being shaped by this. I was a little girl, very little, and just not understanding quite what was happening. But when I was about 7, I was told that I was going to be a minister one day, because I found myself at the age of 7 teaching the Sunday school. I was a precocious child. So I was shaped by the New Testament Church of God. I came to England and started asking questions. And my family didn't like that, because I asked questions about what I saw around me. And something wasn't comfortable with me as a child from I was a little girl. And I wanted to know things at Sunday school in Nottingham. Pastor Peart was the then minister of the New Testament Church of God in Nottingham. And I was very, argumentative, because me not take no for an answer. And I wanted to know as a little girl why Jesus was white. And nobody answered me. And you can't imagine, just talking about it now, what as a little girl, intelligent little girl that I was. And I said to the Sunday school teacher, I want to know why God doesn't look like me. And he said, and his exact words were, and I will remember to this day, I've remembered, he said, if you can't accept what I say, don't come back. So I didn't go back. I did as I was told, and I never went back. So I never went back to the New Testament Church of God.
And when a very powerful story with that and testimony, and again, we could talk about some of the trauma that probably one or two of us here in the audience have felt when it comes to a church experience in that way. So this then, of course, must be leading you into saying, all right, then let's discover why Africa becomes part of it, why you've done the Sundays that you do at the church where you are the Reverend, the Holy Trinity, Birchfield.
Yes, because the next step after I left the church, a Pentecostal church, and I learned a lot of good things in the Pentecostal church, it must be said.
Yes.
It gave my generation a real sense of purpose, and it gave me certainly a sense of leadership. I discovered my ability to lead in the Pentecostal church. But after I left the Pentecostal church, I needed to find an anchor, somewhere that I could feel at home. And because I was asking questions and couldn't find any answers, all I saw around me was the white picture of Jesus on the wall, which I was never comfortable with, and the silent listener to every conversation. All of those things led me to ask questions. And my mother used to say things which was typical of her generation. She would say, me no African, and don't carry nobody African in here. And it was those were the days when I realized how deeply ingrained self-hate was and self-rejection was. So secretly, I was 16 years old, I joined the Black People's Freedom Movement, the BPFM, in Nottingham. I was the youngest child who joined this organization, and I had to hide it from my mother that I was a member of the BPFM. And I used to bring little books home, and she used to just have a nervous breakdown. And she said, by then my father had died, and she said, if Stanley could see what you come to, because you've rejected everything that we taught you. And the BPFM helped to shape me. So it was a combination of the Black People's Freedom Movement and Pan-Africanism, which began to shape my theology. The theological perspective that I have about God is a God who, from that very early age, I tried to make sense of. So the little girl who would creep into the house with Malcolm X's book and hide it under the mattress, And my mother would find it when she had made the bed. I'm an only child, so she would make the bed, And she said, Vadney, what is you carry home? And I said, well, it's about Malcolm X, Mom. And she said, Lord Jesus, have mercy upon her. And she called down God upon me, And I knew then that it was something that I should hide. So I hid my Pan-Africanism from the age of 16 till I was about 19. I just decided that I've got to come out. I've got to come out and let her know that. And I had an African boyfriend. She almost had a nervous breakdown. But that's because, as I realize now, is this indoctrination of rejection of all that is African. So I decided that, for me, the only way forward was to find another church that would understand my Pan-Africanist outlook. So I became an Anglican. Little did I know.
I mean, I'm thinking that doesn't tie, in a sense, remotely on the one hand, but again, as you said, this is about your personal discovery, your journey. You obviously have said that you want to be a committed Christian and serve Christ in the way that you were.
And how do I marry those two?
I was going to say, how did you?
And when I joined the Anglican Church, I was a young woman, young wife, just got married, and I'm married to an Englishman. So I want him, I said, I'm a Pan-Africanist. If you're going to marry me, don't change my politics. And if you can't live with my politics, don't turn up at the wedding tomorrow morning. And 40 years later, he did turn up.
Amazing.
But it's this constant quest to understand the journey of my people, our people. Yeah. Why is it that God chooses to live and to manifest himself as a white man? I couldn't understand that, so I decided I'd go to the Anglican church down the road. So I saw this guy outside, an elderly white guy, and I said, "Excuse me, are you a member of this church?" And he said, before he could say anything else, he said, "There is a church not too far from here."
Oh dear Lord!
It's your second on your left. It's the Pentecostal church. So I said and spoke in my best posh public school tone. My grandfather sent me to a public school in Jamaica, private school. So they put on my best English from Eureka Prep School. Yeah. And I says, "Who told you that I was looking for a Pentecostal church?" And he says, "Oh, my apologies." And that was how I became an Anglican.
Wow.
And I don't know how they didn't throw me out, because I started asking, why is that white and why is that white? Yeah.
And if we had time, we would go into more. But you, as you said, currently you've been the Reverend at Holy Trinity Birchfield for the last 12 years or so now.
I'm the first black woman to be ordained in the Church of England. And that's been up and down. Because the Church of England were slave owners too. Yeah. We need to acknowledge that the Church of England for so long has resisted any attempt we have made to say, you have to acknowledge this history. And it is in acknowledging this history that those of us who are ministers in your ranks can begin to come into our true selves. Yeah. So the Church of England is beginning to mature. It is beginning to understand, when those of us who have been in its ranks for a long time, like me, to question the Bible. Is the Bible full of white people? No, it's not. Yeah. Yeah. Many of the characters are Africans. And yet you can be forgiven if you were to get up on a Sunday in the Church of England and just assume that the archangels, and look all on the pictures around the Church of England. The buildings are beautiful, all laced with white people. Yeah. And that is changing, and it must change. We are demanding change. We are demanding not just the acknowledgement that the Church of England were slave owners and slave masters, but that they have conspired to colonize the image of God. And it is that colonization of the image of God that people like me are beginning to change within the Anglican Church.
Amen to that. Thank you, Eve Pitts. And as we've touched on it earlier, part of your journey was with Black Majority Church that started in someone's front room, very much like this. And I need to bring on then two other guests that we're going to have to talk about the picture behind you at the moment, Eve Pitts. Sam Henry and Pastor Gilroy Brown. So please welcome onto the stage Sam Henry, Pastor Gilroy Brown. Oh, that's me just to Gilroy.
Wipe your foot.
Yeah, yes. Wipe your foot. I like it. Just take take a seat for me, both of you, because you can squeeze up. You want a cup of tea? No, sorry. All of those. Thank you both for joining me. Firstly, Sam, tell us about the picture that everyone is looking at.
Okay, so I think I'll probably allow my dear
All right,
friend
Gilroy, share them, because we, for many of us, we have experienced either being at that time the most popular main black majority church was New Testament Church of God, Church of God of Prophecy, Wesleyan, Seventh Day, or we had Kojic, all these very different churches, but coming from a similar standpoint. So tell us about the picture and why it's so significant.
Well, thank you, Nikki, and good evening, everyone. The picture was taken in 1957. I'm having to guess now the position of the people on the picture. 1957 in Wolverhampton, the New Testament Church of God was visited by one of their overseers from Nashville, Tennessee, because that's where the New Testament Church of God was formed. And my father is in the picture.
Wow.
With some other illustrious leaders of the time, Dr. Oliver Lysight, there's Deacon Garwood, Deacon Buckner, many names that are well known within the Wolverhampton branch of the New Testament Church of God. My father went on to become Bishop Brown of Bethel United Apostolic Church. But in those days those are early days, my father and Pastor Lysight at the time were lead pastors for the New Testament Church of God in Wolverhampton. And it is believed to be the first official black majority church in the UK. This is 1953. I believe there's another church started in Brixton around about the same time. And then from that body came all the other churches.
And Pastor Brown, and again, fascinating for you in terms of your own personal history, knowing that your father and those around, you know, who you would have probably called uncles and so on, were part of that. But what were the memories that your father had of beginning to have to start a church? Because as Eve just shared a little bit, you know, being told, sorry, where you need to go is down the road. Did they meet that conflict, Sam? I don't know if you want to come in with some of that. The conflict that they faced setting up their churches having to meet.
Okay, so Nikki, a very important point that we want to bring here is that the hostility that they faced, the Windrush generation, when they came off the ship, many of them, it's very well known that they had a strong spirituality. And they wanted to go to church on Sunday. So think of it, they would go to church, either Methodist, Anglican, and the first time, you know, a warm welcome, but the second time they went, the vicar, it's a common story, the vicar would go to the back of the church at the end of the service, shake their hand, thank you, but don't come back. So the black-led churches, I want you to know this. So when you look at let's give an example, George Street in Lozells. It's one of the iconic churches in the black majority community. Now, that church was formerly, I believe, a Methodist church that was bought at that time. It's now one of our major churches in Birmingham. I know that because I used to attend George Street many years. But at that time, they had to raise the money. So the Jamaican partner, how many hands here know the Jamaican partner?
We know that partner.
Yes. So the Jamaican partner, they would go about fundraising ideas, staging building program events. What for? To raise the money so they could buy their own church buildings. And today, thank God that we can say that the black majority churches, you could not count in terms of monetary value what those buildings mean to us today. So let's give a round of applause to those of our Windrush who raised the money for our church building. Come on, let's give them a round of applause. They deserve that. Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
They used to walk with little envelopes, didn't they? And collect money in the street. The elders would ask people in the street. When I was going shopping with my mom, they'd say, here's an envelope because we're collecting to have a building. That's how they managed to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And for you, because I know time is against us, but in terms of what you're currently doing, Is there still a place for black majority church? Is there still a place to see the spiritual side? And has that shift in terms of what Eve was talking about, an understanding and accepting of African roots, but also the other ills that you could say have come from being here in those earlier years?
Without question, the church has had a very pivotal role in the experiences of black people. It took us through slavery, out of slavery, civil rights, anti-apartheid. The church was always at the forefront of the fight for social equality. And back in the 50s, when the majority of the Windrush people came, it was the anchor and the ark for our people. It was our refuge, it was our fortress. Absolutely. It was the village that raised the child. Yes, there are less of us going to church now, but the church still is a focal point within our community. And long may it continue to be so, because we don't have the same infrastructure as other ethnic groups. And the church, out of the church has come our doctors, lawyers, teachers, plumbers, electricians, care workers, all strands of people. It's been a place that's developed into the citizens that we are.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just want to add to what Gilroy was saying. So today, as a musician, think of the wealth in this country alone of the contribution to the music world. So I mentioned Beverly Knight. We all know Beverly Knight. She grew up in the church. Yeah, and so I would say to you, when the next time you hear of the next number one hit,
have a look at the band.
Have a remember MD. Where does it come from? The black-led churches has produced, even today, some of the best talent in music and arts. So I think that's important to know that.
Final words, yes,
last week I was down in Nottingham because my aunt has just died, and we took the service at the New Testament Church of God in Nottingham, Carlton Road. And it brought back the wonderful memories, the good memories. I had a bad memory, but the good memories of how the church helped to shape my generation. Yeah. It was a safety net for my generation when they were picking up black children, my generation, and putting them in jail. And it was the church that enabled us to find confidence in ourselves. Despite the shortcomings of the theology, for me, it was a safety net, and I think the church still plays that important role today.
Very much so, very much so. Can you put your hands together, please, for Reverend Canon Eve Pitts, Pastor Gilroy Brown, and Sam Henry? Thank you, all three. Now see how you can get out of this chair very eloquently and not embarrass your parents while you just crush up yourself. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Wasn't that wonderful to hear and have that conversation? We're now going to have some more music to take us to our next chapter of conversation. When it comes to sport, we talked about it a little earlier, but we are going to acknowledge one key factor that you say many of our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents brought with them: the love of the sport of cricket. So let's have Paul. I don't know if you want to, are you going to be set up there, or do you need to come nearer? We're going to have Paul again, just playing to us a particular theme of music that I'm sure you will recognize once he starts playing. Put your hands together, please, for Paul, using the steel pan to share his music. Thank you. Viv Richards. My dad will lick him for 6. You know, all of those little phrases one would hear. And so it's a lovely introduction to our next topic. As I've said, sport plays such a key part. Emma already shared a little about the importance of uniting us. But there was something about the West Indies versus England. And as a child, I remember my dad, who also used to play cricket, getting extremely excited. So to talk about cricket from a Commonwealth standpoint, I'm really pleased to introduce to us here members of the Birmingham Commonwealth Cricket League, Steve Stevenson MBE, Mr. Ahmed Kazi, and also Trevor McIntosh. Please welcome them as they come to talk with me. Oh, hang on a second. They're really mashing up Mummy's crochet pieces here on the back. I got to make sure it looks like it belongs to someone. Please sit there for me. I might have to move the flowers because I need to see your faces. But thank you very much, all three of you. A joy to talk about that, and hearing that the theme music on the steel pan there brought back lots of memories. But let me start with you then, Stephen. Tell me a little bit about you and really why the Cricket League became important and why all three of you have done so.
I was the chairman of the Victoria Mutual Caribbean Cup national competition with Courtney Walsh as president. But before I go on, I must acknowledge someone in the audience that actually started the Victoria Mutual Caribbean Cup. Can I hear it for Dr. Beverly Lindsay, please?
In fact, thank you for that. Yes,
started it with the support of Mr. Nation, and then I went on to develop the work. So it's very important to do that.
Yes. And so the Cricket League itself, the uniqueness, which is where I'll probably bring in Mr. Kazi, is really unique here because Trevor and you can all talk about this. It started officially in the mid-70s, didn't it? So tell us a little bit about this and also how, Mr. Kazi, you got involved.
My involvement.
I'm hoping it's on for you. Can you just check that the buttons, there's a green light on the front? Let me just, swap with Trevor and he can sort it out. That's it. That would be good. Okay.
The Commonwealth Cricket League started mainly because when a lot of the Asians and the black community were playing in the local Parks League, and at that particular time in the late 60s, there was a lot of racism that took place, disadvantage to the black players, to the Asian players, more so for the black players. And me being involved with South Africa as my birthplace, and especially my uncle, the Dr. Kazi, who was involved heavily with Nelson Mandela. They spent a couple of years in jail together, and from that time, I've always been involved in the cricket and the promoting of black nationalist opportunities.
So sorry, so let me just repeat some of that though, Mr. Kazi, because I think that's fascinating to hear. So you're South African born.
That's correct.
Your father had spent time with Nelson Mandela.
My uncle.
There on Robben Island in South Africa.
That's correct.
And so again, a fascinating piece of history to have. And now you're here in the UK, a Muslim man in the UK, and you find yourself playing cricket, but playing cricket where you couldn't play with all the other people. You could only play with black players?
No, we played with, at the time when we started in the 66.
Yes.
There were English, Pakistanis, and Indian teams. And my development with them and getting involved, but I got a lot of promotion and help from the black communities, because they at the beginning couldn't realize that I was African and I wasn't black.
Yes.
And I said, well, you're Indian. I said, yes, that's my great parents, they were Indians.
Yeah.
But I'm involved with the black communities because I got a lot of respect. And for me, Fred Clark, the person from Barbados, who was really instrumental of us starting the Commonwealth League, because he, while working for the car industry, he also came across a lot of negative remarks of his color.
Yes.
And we felt, no, we must do something. And with the help of the West Indian Federation in Winston Green, we got a lot of promotion from Euclid Mahon from Barbados, who was the part-time ambassador for all Barbados who were living in Birmingham to come with these problems. And from that on, we started this particular league.
So there's a lot of history there, and Trevor, let's bring it up. You know, as I said, in the mid-70s, and I'll come back to you, Stephen, because I know that you wanted to share something from your book. But Trevor, tell me about it for you, and what it was like for you as a younger man, and why cricket played such a key part in your life.
Well, for me, I got involved with the Birmingham Commonwealth Cricket League, and I think it's very, very important to recognize when we say grassroots cricket, a lot of people got recognition, but the grassroots never got recognition. So that is when I decided to write and get the story of the grassroots. As a young man myself in 1976, when I came into
the hot summer.
Yes, you remember that the hot summer, right? I got into cricket, for a particular reason, and I don't mind saying that. I'm a Windrush child. I came here in 1971. I came here from a stable situation up in St. Elizabeth to an unstable situation in a one-bedroom just like this. So it's kind of fascinating, right? But unfortunately for myself, 3.5 years before I was 16, I found myself homeless. I found myself sleeping on the streets. I didn't know where I was going as a young person. And I was hanging around in Handsworth Park and Aston Park, and a few of us as young guys started to play cricket, just as a knockabout. But there was no opportunity for us to move any further. And bless his soul, a young man by the name of Harry got us together, got us involved with the Muhammad Ali Center, right? And it gave us a purpose in life. So as a young person, I would say it made me the person I am today, because it has set the foundation, because life could have been a lot different for somebody like myself. So cricket, I know there's other sports involved, but because I play cricket, was a great leveler for myself, and it helped me to settle properly in the UK as a Windrush child.
And I think that's really key to hear about some of the journey that you've all had. But what I love about this, and in terms of my presenting, I've got a show where I always say there's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And that's what I'm hearing about, as you said, your journey there, not expecting to have found yourself homeless. Mr. Kazi, you're coming from South Africa, father who's been, family, friends and history there with Nelson Mandela. And it just shows how ordinary people are doing those things. And as you rightly said, Trevor, it's about celebrating those grassroots. So it leads me to you, Stephen. You've got your MBE, you're a key person around cricket, but you wanted to read something to us. So please go ahead.
Yes, because it links directly with cricket and Windrush. So it's very relevant. Peter Fryer, the author of Staying Power, published in 1984, saw the MV Empire Windrush arrive at Tilbury Docks in 1948 with 493 West Indians. He stated in his book, in April 1956, London Transport began recruiting staff in Barbados, and within 12 years, a total of 3,787 Barbadians had been taken on. And listen very carefully in the audience. They were lent their fares to Britain, and their loans were gradually repaid from their wages. They were lent their fares to Britain, and their loans were gradually repaid from their wages. Remember, in a time of high tension around immigration and deportation, we were invited there, audience. Remember, we were invited there. Even these numbers were not enough. And in 1966, London Transport began to recruit in Trinidad and Jamaica. The British Hotel and Restaurant Association recruited skilled workers from Barbados. And listen for the name, a Tory health minister by the name of Enoch Powell welcomed West Indian nurses to Britain. Please remember the word welcome. Within Black Hands drove tube trains, collect bus fares, and emptied hospital bedpans. And listen very carefully how this connects with cricket. Also remember that 2 years after the arrival of the Windrush, and the emergence of a small Caribbean presence in Britain, the West Indian team beat England at Lords for the first time on English soils. Can everyone applause for the West Indies team? The West Indies team beat England at Lords for the very first time. And listen, the team tune on the Calypso. The triumph was witnessed by two Trinidadian Calypsonians who arrived on the Windrush, Lord Kitchener and Lord Beginner. While celebrating the victory song, Lord Kitchener were inspired to write the song. Come on, tell us, sing it, sing it. What did Lord Kitchener and Lord Beginner sing? Come on, cricket, lovely cricket at Lord's where I first saw it. Three little pal of mine, Ramadan and Valentine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And I know that in all that you've been doing, you've carried it on, you've made sure that other sports personalities have come along and love cricket. Trevor, I know in terms of, for a local perspective here in Birmingham at Handsworth Park, which is where you said you discovered it, the late Stead Wallen was, of course, well known for putting on the kind of annual cricket match.
Sports and Cultural Day.
And so, it's, as with any of the sports, we heard a little bit about netball. Cricket is possibly still a sport where in all its guises now, you've got the T20, of course you still have test cricket. Is there still a place for it? Is there still something about cricket that all of you could just tell me why you still love it and why you're so pleased that there is a Commonwealth Cricket League here in Birmingham?
Well, unfortunately, the Commonwealth Cricket League no longer exists because we've got to get it factually right.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and with that became the demise of black cricket within Birmingham. You know, it's played, but all the clubs that, you know, from Mohammed Ali to Oaklands, all these things are no longer here. So we have to be factual in what we're saying. But it's important that we reignite it, yeah, because like you said, I had the pleasure of working with the great Stead Wallen for a very long time. He was my close friend. And it's an important part of our culture that's been missing. And we really need to start getting comfortable again with our culture. And with the Commonwealth being here, the most exciting bit for me, myself, is to see the ladies' teams are involved, because if we are going to ignite the cricket, we have to get the ladies involved.
Yes, you do.
Yes, so
to lick on for six, sorry, to hit the ball further than, yes, but no, it's very true. It's about how we can make that feel comfortable for women to play, as well as obviously younger children, younger people.
Yes, because it's a very important part of our culture and history that's, you know, that's missing. You know, when it comes to cricket, just like you just mentioned, Sunday, Calypso play, reggae play, dominoes are played. Yeah. We need to get comfortable again with what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you for that. Mr. Kazi, why do you love cricket so much, and what would you hope for it going into the future?
Well, because my family were involved in cricket from South Africa, and we grew up playing cricket from those particular early years, and when we came to Birmingham, the cricket was still there. And we continued playing and getting clubs together to play cricket. I must take this opportunity, especially to thank Sir Clive Lloyd for his continual encouragement over the years that I've met him. And whenever he said, keep it up, don't let it go. Yeah. And I always remember that somebody that is cricket himself, and gets such good advice, and also got a lot of advice and help from Rohan Khanna, Alvin Karishan, and said, push the boys, push them, get people involved. And we were very unfortunate. We didn't have anybody to go to Warwickshire to do the county. And we only had one player, Alan Warner, who couldn't get a place in Warwickshire. He ended up playing for Derby County, and he did quite well, and we are very proud of that. And every time we mention don't forget, Alan was a Derbyshire.
Yes, very much so. And final few words from you, Stephen, because not only are Stevenson MBE for your work with the Cricket League, but what is it about cricket that you love? And more importantly, what you would like to see going forward?
Cricket is a unifying force. It's the glue that have hold the main 14 Caribbean islands together. So it's really remember when you have a cricket club, if you have 60 men, there are 60 women. So they're also involved.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to say, when you have a cricket club, it's like a small economy. You have plumbers, carpenters, shoemakers, accountants, mechanics, and we all help each other. So it's very important, the fact that when we were involved with many of the West Indian players, people are saying, oh, is it I'm connected to them? It's because when they came to play league cricket, it's people like me and my wife Pamela that looked after the cricketers for years before they become famous. Yeah, you must remember that we support them and they have supported us. In 1994, I went to the poorest club in Kingston called Lucas, and I gave them £1,000 worth of gears, and there was a boy there. The boy was only 14. The boy turned out to be Chris Gale. So you don't know what's going to happen sometime. And the women's team, Stephanie Taylor, the captain, she said, Mr. Stevenson, when you sent the 50 boots to Jamaica, after they gave the men the boots, I got one of the boots. And now she's captain of the West Indies women's team. Yeah. But the cricket is very important. It's not just about the sports. Montserrat, when the Pyroclastic cover Montserrat, we changed the rules in the Victoria Mutual and will let in all the Montserrat players in the competition. A lot of them found jobs, they found girlfriends, they got jobs, and we helped them out. So for a long time, many people from the main 14 Caribbean islands have come to this country and they've been integrated easily in the community because of cricket.
Yes, very much so.
It's very, very important as a social pastime. It's not just about the cricket itself. There's a lot of things that go with it.
And I think that's really, could you put your hands together for them? That's something that's really coming through about the importance of Commonwealth, the importance of our culture, the social settings that it has brought to us. And I know that you've got here as well, Trevor, just before I let you all go. I just want, tell us a little bit about this, the Legends of Legends, journey of the Birmingham Commonwealth Cricket League, and then I'll let you all go after that. So just tell us a little bit about this and why you should pick this up when you go.
Well, one of the reasons, right, first thing, we did this in COVID time, which is an interesting thing when we had time to do it. Secondly, it is the grassroots. Yeah. It's not about people who made it at a certain level and were profiting. We're talking about youth didn't have an opportunity to go anywhere else. There's interesting stories in there, such as Maple Leaf, a cricket club. Maple Leaf, quite a few of those guys came here, and the Windrush itself, if you read the story. They went to, I can't name of the institution they went to. If you read the story, they went to an institution to learn the language and English, and they then formed their own cricket league. We've had the Barbados Association, guys from Barbados. We've got guys from right across the islands, right? Some of them have told their story, and we hope this is something for the next generation to understand that cricket just didn't start at a certain level, and I felt it was very important to get that message across.
Brilliant. So please, everybody, I would encourage you to get yourself a copy of this really good insight into the cricket clubs that have been established here in the West Midlands. Trevor, thank you so much. Trevor McIntosh, everybody. Mr. Ahmed Kazi and Stevenson. Steve Stevenson, MBE. And yes, and I can't let him go without forgetting your book, Unbeaten Innings.
It's about Windrush, and there's a chapter on my work with the West Indian team. There's also a chapter on my work in Birmingham, which was a bit controversial, but we'll leave that for another day.
We have to, my brother, we have to leave it. But thank you ever so much. Everybody again, please, a good insight into the importance of cricket being part of the Commonwealth. Thanks ever so much, Trevor, Steve, and Mr. Kazi. Yes, there's a few copies at the back, so just rush him later so you can get copies of the book there. Well, I hope you found what we've been hearing fascinating in terms of people's general stories. But of course, part of what we love to do, and part of what I'd say is very much a richness within our culture and in our settings, is when we're hearing stories or poems. And so my next guest and our next guest to just share some of his talent is the orator. Put your hands together for him, please.
Who knows what I'm waiting for? Wandering child of Maroon Town, oh, where have you been? We were expecting you long before sundown. What is it that has kept you away? Come home and tell us all you have seen. Wandering child of Maroon Town, what seeds have you sown on your wayward way home? Anywhere we go, we have to grow. Lost you may have been, but we know that you know. No child is ever really severed from spirit. Its guidance will lead you away from the finite. You just have to listen to it. We know you could not draw within the lines. Take that mind and go find the lucid. Bring it with home to Maroon Town, wandering child. No time is too long a while. Roots cannot measure in a mile. Any others, brothers and sisters found, bring them come. Forever they will be welcomed and embraced. None shall face exile. None shall be deceived like the victors of 1728. Bring them come, wandering child of Maroon Town. See it true through you. Others will place their toes on sanctified ground. Bring with you knowledge of the world when you reach. Like branches on trees extended towards sunlight. I will prepare a soup of supernal magnitude, made with vegetables discarded as uncouth. Together we will dine by firelight, in the company of those who chose their own name, reclaimed as family on this here day. Enter your crown, child of Maroon Town. For the elders are proud that you have found your way. Exalt your crown, child of Maroon Town. Be sure others can find their way. I see my demons creeping, stalking me in the shadows of smiles and success. I can see they're waiting for the Rasta man to slip up, but I'm too high for that. Connected to a deeper situation. Ipper-dipper-dation, pick a new brother from the nation to exalt and watch default. It won't be me. They still call ip, dip, do, my brother, I wish it not for you. For all that money might buy you a seat at the table, but the moment you stop acting normal around the Caucasian, it is over. Wesley sniped on the first given occasion. See, brothers don't make it out the ghetto, we make a little money and try and let go. When you can't escape what you know. For my born and grow, my grandma taught me, take time. Especially as a young black man who wants to be bossing that stage, because whilst you're up front, they set that trap door right behind. Don't slip, young jigger. You ain't got to be in the limelight to be in the soul. Just take time, young jigger. Those bumper and breasts might satisfy your smutty mind, but take time, young jigger. It is not everybody you want to bring back to your watering hole. These woman is not your friend, and they just might tell what they know. Worse still, a whole bunch of things they don't. So, protect your sovereignty whilst you bake your bread. Do not slip for some cheap thrills and quick. See, that poontang could be made of gold. Do not let that be the reason that you get caught out. Stay sharp, young jigger. I, like so many, would like to see you rise, but there are those who will only value you as far as your tabloid entertainment will provide. So, rise up, me doggy, but take time, young jigger. Remain unscathed and in the hearts of white folks across the landscape. Take time, young jigger. Thank you. My name's the orator.
Wow. Powerful. Thank you, the orator. And in a way, he leads us very nice into our kind of final segment of this afternoon, this evening's journey through Windrush and celebrating our history and our culture by looking at what we could say the descendants, those who are, as I've mentioned earlier, part of the third or fourth generation. And what legacy are we leaving them and what are we celebrating through them? Of course, the Commonwealth Games is around sport, it's around uniting us through sport and using it as an opportunity to give our younger people opportunities and investment in their lives that they probably normally wouldn't have. So I'm really pleased to bring on a dear friend of mine, but also part of the Cyril Regis Foundation. So please would you put your hands together for Julia Regis. Come and take a seat in the front room. And then mash up the things again. Oh my gosh. Mommy would be like, exactly, fix up the cushions, fix up the front room. Julia, welcome. Thank you for being with us today. And you've heard, of course, already a richness of why Windrush is so important and it's key to our cultural heritage and more so for younger people. And I know that Cyril, your late husband, that was really key, and the foundation that has come from his legacy is really important. So tell us about the foundation and what it's going to, or what it's hoping to achieve. And we are going to see a 10-minute film from a documentary.
Thank you, Nikki. So yes, as you've said, after Cyril passed away, we decided that we would set up a charity to continue some of the work that he was already doing in the community. And we launched the program, launched the charity with a mentoring program that we called Strike Change. And when we were doing the research, we talked to all the football club foundations in the West Midlands. They were all doing fantastic work. And thought, wouldn't it be amazing if we could collaborate together and bring them all together to work on a project with us? Approached them all, and they said yes. And it's the first time that all 6 West Midland Football Club foundations have ever worked together on a project.
Wow.
And they're doing that.
No, that is a round of applause, isn't it?
Thank you.
As a Baggies fan myself, I'm really pleased to hear that,
Yeah,
Lauren.
so, I mean, what a testament to Cyril's legacy. Yes. As you know, he played for 4 of the West Midlands clubs. We have people from our Villa Foundation and 2 of our ambassadors here today. They're somewhere at the back.
Where are you? Come on then, Villa, I'll allow you. I'll allow you to show yourselves, come on.
They did wave, they're shy, they did wave. But what's amazing is we launched the program in 2019. We all know what happened in March of 2020. We had a lockdown. We were able to pivot somewhat and still reach our cohort, the first year cohort, online. We ran a condensed version last year. And we actually feel like this is really our first year. Next month, we will have delivered a whole year's program. We have 72 young people on the program this year, all coming with their own individual challenges. We use football as a way to engage them, but actually we soak and immerse them in positivity. We just let them know how great they are. We talk to them about resilience and how to endure life's challenges that come your way. And we just get wonderful feedback from the schools. There's one school that said to us, there's certain young people that we know will come to school on the day that Striker Change is in. So that's a great testament
it is, very much
to the program. And to have Liber and Zach here, who were students on year 1, who are now ambassadors on our program and helping us to facilitate on this year's program is just immense for me.
Well, it's a joy to hear. And again, as you said, in light of sometimes what we hear negatively about our young people in the communities that we live in, it's really refreshing to know that the foundation is doing this. And we are now going to see just 10 minutes of the documentary. If you can, just share a little bit about what people will have in this taster.
So there are lots of community groups, I'm sure, represented here that are doing great work in the community. And when the organising committee of the Games wanted to reach out to communities a couple of years ago, they asked us to apply to be community brand partners. Our program, Strike Change, made that application and were successful. And we sat down with young people and said, right, what can we do to genuinely contribute to the legacy of the Games in this region? We were aware of what had happened in other communities where the games came and then went, and the legacy, particularly in our community, wasn't as strong as perhaps it could have been. The result of that conversation was, let's do a documentary. Talking to the young people, a lot of them didn't know much about the Commonwealth, and even when we said, well, which country are your parents from? Do you know that's a Commonwealth country? Some of them weren't aware of what that actually meant. They'd heard of the games, but that was it. So we decided to do a documentary. So the documentary tracks 6 stories using themes such as dance, food, sport, and various other themes. You'll see Libra in the documentary, and it just tracks the story of people who have come to this country from Commonwealth countries and what it was like for them, and the young people share what they have learned about the Commonwealth.
Brilliant, thank you. Well, please put your hands together for Julia Regis, and then let's see, for around 10 minutes, a snippet of the documentary. Thank you, Julia. I gather that maybe, Nikki, you need to fill for 3 minutes or something like that while we're just getting things sorted and arranged. I don't know if any of you managed to get to New Street earlier on today where they had the unveiling. Was that wonderful? I'm wondering whether LJ is in the vicinity. All right, we're going to get a poem, brilliant. We're going to have the orator come back to us while we're organising and getting the documentary up. He's just about to discover a picture. I was going to just see if there was anyone who wanted to share what it was like. LJ, I don't know if you've got your mic while orator's discovering his. You have got a mic. You could just probably. There was somebody. Although the lights are on me, I was just trying to see if we could find someone who was there and celebrated being at the event. So just grab, and you can pinch my mic or Julia's. I like this. This is great. Judy, did your parents ever have the gram like that?
The only thing we didn't have was the drinks trolley.
You didn't have the drinks trolley?
Mum's a staunch Christian. There was no alcohol in the house.
Proper things.
Everything else is very familiar.
Everything else. It's so wonderful to see. So we're just sorting out. Oh, we've got. It was just, there was somebody down there, LJ, of course, of New Style Radio. If you just want to just go in, I think just over there we had someone who went there today, so I'd like to hear.
Hand up. Thank you.
How was it?
Hi everybody, it was absolutely amazing, so emotional, and my name is Vanessa Brown. I am somebody who has received Queen's Honours for my contribution to preventing people from being illegally deported during the Windrush scandal. And today to witness with people around me, my family, friends, to witness the unveiling of that statue was truly emotional and truly moving and truly a historical event. I can honestly say that in us coming together, you can truly see the power of the collective.
Yes.
From just one person saying, please, somebody help me, it stopped a lot of people from being in worse situations. There's still so much more that we can do.
Yeah.
There is so much still to do. So I'm just so pleased to see the collective of Birmingham, the West Midlands and the UK come together to celebrate such an amazing journey and remembering those who were left behind as well, and still to look forward as we still look back, reflecting on the goodness that God has been to us. So I'm just so moved by today, and to everybody who has even arranged up until this evening, it's been absolutely amazing, such an amazing day. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. And that, LJ, I know you'll be coming back to you later on, but I think we've got everything ready to go. Am I right with that? So let's have, just to take time to watch this documentary, carrying on, in a sense, just supporting what you said, the legacy and the work of the foundation. comments just there, just want to fully understand the challenge. Was there anything else that you wanted to add? As LJ, you still got one Sharon down here, LJ. Well, not yet, apologies. I think, are we there now, Carmen? No, it's still waiting. We're ready to break.
We've got so many different personalities. I'm so sorry. I'm just always blown away by the feedback I get from schools, from the foundation staff, and from parents sometimes as well, who talk about the change that they see. Oh, what a shame. We talked about different ways in which we could contribute to the legacy of the Commonwealth Games taking place in this region, and arrived at a documentary that would allow a number of the young people to talk to family, friends and community members who are from Commonwealth countries, talk to them about their journey coming here, talk to them about what the Commonwealth means to them.
1, 2, 3,
My name is Toby, this is my mum, Paulina. We're Nigerian from Lagos and we live in Coventry.
I feel like it's really important that Toby learns a lot about the culture and the tradition of Nigeria, because, you know, it's part of who you are. Nigeria is all about food, and food is part of culture, and that's why I really get Toby involved in all my cooking.
Growing up in Nigeria was actually quite interesting, very different from the life that you guys have here. For me, there was a lot of family around. If there was any celebration that was going on, jollof was a staple. And, jollof brings everybody together.
So the Cyril Regis Legacy Trust was launched in May of 2019. And we decided to launch the charity with a mentoring program. We talked to all of the football club foundations in the West Midlands. And as you know, Cyril played for 4 of those clubs.
Hi, I'm Liba and this is Marco from Jamaica.
Okay, so these are some of my football kit, my jersey when I used to play for Jamaica. I was a centre back. That was my favourite number 13. Football for me opened a lot of doors, saved my life because I did have a strict mum, so I could not come off the rail, but it kept me on the straight and narrow, it kept me focused, it kept a discipline where I know if I want to be the best, I have to put the work in.
What does the Commonwealth mean to you? The
Commonwealth is more of a colonies, or we get colonized, like Jamaica was ruled by the British, and some of the Caribbean countries ruled by France and stuff like that. So for them to have like the Commonwealth, it shows a status of who control who or who rules who. And I don't think that was like really right. Everyone should be free.
It was an eye-opener when I came to England. The first thing was that I felt it was cold, the food I couldn't get used to. Most nights I was on my pillow, just crying, wanting to go back to St. Kitts and Nevis. I just felt I had no comfort zone, I had no friends. But when I came to England and they mentioned about fish and chips, oh Lord, never had nothing so good before. But I would always favour the Caribbean food because it's what I'm used to.
You're representing the UK in the Commonwealth Games, but it being in Birmingham, in your hometown, how was that for you?
Bit crazy, because for the next one to be literally where I'm from is just a bit mad, because I don't think it's ever been in Birmingham before either. A lot of people only recognise London anyway, do you know what I mean? And then they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, Birmingham. And they're like, where's that? So for the Commonwealth Games to be here, it's going to put the city on notice. I feel like I've been representing my city. is mad because they support me and they support England. But if it's England versus Jamaica, I don't even know which way it's gonna go, really. And I'm looking at them like, it could be weird because I'll be looking at them guys in the Jamaican kit like, why am I not in one of them? Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to like 100 meters and like the girls are running and stuff, I already know who my mum's supporting. She ain't supporting us. My nan's yelling Jamaica too, so I mean, I don't even know who they're rooting for. I don't know who I'm rooting for though. England. Yeah, 11, 10.
9.
Yeah, 9, bro. What's going on?
Nathan was one of Cyril's players right up until he passed away, and Nathan's now followed in Cyril's footsteps. So it's going to be a great experience to have him come and talk to the young people.
No, I really enjoyed it in there with the kids. It was nice to speak to them and be open with them.
So obviously I've known you for as long as I've known Cyril, because you've been around Cyril a very long time. Do you remember when you first met Cyril?
I remember I was playing a match. I must have been about, I think I was 15, just coming to turn 16, and played a match, done really well, scored, was ready to, go off home, and this big guy approaches me, and he says, "Well done, how well I've done," and he gives me his business card, and he said, "I would like to kind of meet with you and your parents. I'm an agent," and I said, "Oh, Mum, there's a guy, Cyril. He wants to meet with us. He's an agent." I was like, "Excuse me, Cyril?" I was like, "Yeah, Cyril who?" "Cyril Regis." It's like, no, and she just went crazy, and it's strange because, when you first meet somebody, you can already tell by their presence and their aura about that person. And, he came in with a beaming smile and, and it was, it was a big guy, but he was so gentle at the same time.
So I was like 1 year old when I came here, so I was very young. But what made you want to bring me here?
Actually, I want to give you more opportunity for your life.
Yeah, I don't remember much of it, but especially of India. But growing up was, I had the experience of, going to school, making friends, learning the language.
Yes.
Being involved in all the culture here in England. With our culture, it's very bright, very colourful. I think our culture is very different from everybody else's. I think there's a lot of amazing food, amazing celebrations. We're able to show that we are like Punjabi through our dresses and the way we look and our language. I think that's very important to all of us, and so we feel represented.
We just want the programme to continue growing from strength to strength. You have to remember we launched the programme in September 2019 and we went into a pandemic in March 2020. We had to learn to pivot. We just want to deliver a programme fully, face-to-face, in the way in which it was designed, and continue to grow that programme and continue to impact the lives of young people.
Is the COVID-19 pandemic affecting your business or your livelihood? Are you struggling to pay your pending and current bills? Then you must listen very carefully. Premium advertising will expose your business to thousands of people instantly by using both digital and terrestrial radio and a wide range of social media platforms to get your business out there and start making money. It is that simple, so don't delay. Contact us to advertise your business on New Style Radio 98.7 FM, www.newstyleradio.co.uk, and all multiple social media platforms. Our highly trained digital marketing team will create a bespoke digital marketing strategy tailored to get your business up and running and making money in no time. Don't delay, call us today. Our team is standing by. 07584197380. WhatsApp us on 07872443765 or email us at newstyleradio@yahoo.com.
Oh, put your hands together. It was wonderful, wasn't it? Really powerful 10 minutes. Julia, just before I let you go, how long will be the actual documentary? And for people to find out more, how can they do that?
So that 10-minute clip is taken from a 25-minute production. And actually, this is the first time and the first place that we're actually showing this in celebration of Windrush Day.
Well done. Wonderful.
So the whole cohort of young people will see this towards the end of July when we all come together, and it'll be launched then. And from there on, it'll be on our website. You can find out more about the charity and what we're doing at cyrilregis.com, and follow us on socials, Cyril Regis Official.
Brilliant. Julia Regis, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Oh, I'd say we're coming down nicely. Thank you so much for your time and being part of this afternoon, this evening's celebration, really, of Windrush Day. And before we have our final music act, I just want to bring on Abigail Sherverton, who is being the key person behind this, the organizer, the producer. Come on and join me in the front room, Abigail. And then what I love about all these, fix up me cushions for me, please. Thank you. It's lovely. In fact, tell me a little bit about the set and what gave you the idea to say, let's kind of transport ourselves into this time again. It's press the top, press the button in the middle. No, all right, so do a swap. do a swap. Is it on? Okay, do that.
Hello, first of all, well, it's now evening, so good evening, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. I know a lot of you have been with us since 9:30 this morning, so thank you very much for welcoming us today.
But as I was saying, it was about the set, and yes.
Okay, so the Windrush events in particular have been a little bit of a labour of love for me. My father coming here as, well, me being a Windrush, second generation Windrush.
Child, yes.
Child of Windrush. My father came here in 1949 and settled here. He used to say he didn't come on the ship, he drove the ship that brought him here because he was part of he was a merchant seaman. That's how he came here. So today I felt that it was important I wanted to bring a bit of nostalgia to people. I wanted people to look around and think, oh my God, remember that ornament? Oh my God, we had a picture like that. Oh my God, look at the lovely fresh flowers.
Yes.
We had some of those. So it was really about bringing the essence of what this generation has brought, a little bit of nostalgia, and really a celebration. We are going to be welcoming many what are known as Commonwealth nations, many of which all of you, whether born there or relatives that parents or grandparents that were born there, are coming here. And I think that it's important that as an organisation that we mark this day. Windrush contribution is a massive contribution, not just culturally, but economically to this country. And I think that it's important that we communicate that and really share in a shared history. Birmingham's a city of migration for lots of people. And yeah.
It's been a wonderful set, and I know that in order for anything like this to be done, there are lots of people around you. So I don't know if you wanted to share and say thanks to some of your team that have made sure this has happened today. And you're looking at me like, Nikki, I've forgotten the list of people I need to thank. So I'll just...
There are many Abigail Shervingtons on my team. Maybe 4 or 5 ones that don't sleep, but yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the team at Legacy, Leo. If everyone can give her a round of applause. Leo, can you stand up?
Yes, thank you.
Been one of our project managers for the day, and an incredible help. Is Keith here? Keith Cheyenne Smith, is he with us?
He's outside.
But this where he's the king of this castle, Legacy Centre of Excellence. So just give him a round of applause, even though he's not here, he might hear it. So Keith's been very supportive in that process. To all of our speakers today, a very big thank you. So to Julia Regis, who was just with us, if we can give her another round of applause as well.
We had
Trevor,
Trevor McIntosh.
Steve, Mr. Kazi, another round of applause for them if they're still with us. To Reverend Canon Eve Pitts as well, if she's still here, please. Another thank you to her. And to Dr. Tony Tolbert as well. And last but not least, to Nikki Tapper.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to walk though with the crochet piece
I can't forget
when I
community
finish.
engagement team, Peter
Yes.
Raymond, Asma Jazz Ali, Roxanne Beecham as well, so, and Karen Nemi. So thank you guys. Thank you for all your help and support.
And thank you for that, Abigail, and our performances. Many thanks to the orator, to the Moet sisters, to Asha B, to Paul with the steel pan, and to end our time together, I hope I've got all that right, and still to not walk away with my front room. But this man was spotted by LJ, in fact, LJ Hunter, on the streets of Birmingham, busking away, and she just felt that he would really suit what we're celebrating here this afternoon on Windrush Day. So put your hands together for reggae artist and singer Evo, of growing up in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Many thanks to the Frank family. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Michael Brown as well for the donations for the front room. We also have the Windrush ship. Paul Rose has donated that. We'd love you to take a look at it. You can do some signing. And anything to do with the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2022, please do follow links on websites, invitations about it. Encourage you, as we've been saying throughout the afternoon, to go to any local event. If you're not going to get to the actual games, it will just give you an opportunity to be participant and really help put Birmingham positively on the map. So, Evo, are you ready to go? You sure? You sure you're ready? One more thing. I knew it. One more thing. If you've got Instagram posts, by all means do that. I've just got this as well, just to share. In July, just before the games officially start, the Association of Jamaica Nationals, they're putting on their cultural extravaganza, which is, of course, acknowledging 60 years. So it's a Jubilee celebration, 60 years of Jamaica independence. It's going to be in Victoria Square earlier on in the afternoon. And then in the evening, it will take place at Birmingham Town Hall. If you know your films, remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the butler that was in there, Joseph Marcel, he will be the host for the evening, along with a variety of reggae, British reggae, soul, hip-hop artists. So if you want to go along to that for the 23rd of July, 2022, to celebrate 60 years of Jamaica independence, you do need to go to the website for Associations of Jamaica Nationals or email ajnjamaica60@outlook.com. These leaflets will be available for you to take and share with others. And then on Saturday, the 6th of August, which is the actual Independence Day, there will be another gala charity dinner and awards that will be there to celebrate that, with the guest speaker being the Honorary Norman Hemmings III. So lots of things happening, not only for the Commonwealth, but also to celebrate Jamaica independence. Thank you. And finally, on Sunday, the 14th of August, there will be a service at New Testament Lazelle's Church that we've heard about this afternoon. 3 p.m. that service will start Sunday, the 14th of August, to again acknowledge 60 years of Jamaica independence. Look, hang on a second. I'm saying you can't, you know what, there's just certain things you can't take out of us. we can't take out of this. So thank you, Mr. Rose, who's also want to say this coming Saturday, the 25th of June, there's the annual Windrush Generation Glitz and Glamour Ball. That's going to take place at the H Suite on Icknall Port Road in Edgbaston, Birmingham 16. If you want to go, oh my God, I love us. You just carry on. Thank you. And also, going through to September, so you can't say you haven't got anything to go to. An evening recognising black talent here in the UK. It's going to be the first Black Talent Awards being put on by Even Fields. The host will be a fellow friend and colleague of mine, Marvin Cole. She will be the host there. It's going to take place at the Cricket Ground, Edgbaston Stadium. One of the leading events that you have here as well. So please do check out blacktalentawards.co.uk for more information about that. It's going to take place on the 29th of September 2022. Anybody want me to do the washing for them? Any shopping? Oh, so I got fundraising. Okay, thank you. And the final, which is, Eva, you ready? You ready? No, you're not ready. All right, okay. One more. In fact, thank you, Beverly. She just reminded me of this, Dr. Beverly Lindsay. Also on Saturday the 6th at 3:30 in the afternoon, we're going to have the official civic flag raising ceremony to acknowledge the 60 years of Jamaica independence. That's going to take place in Victoria Square on that Saturday. Again, if you want more information about that, go to ajn-birmingham.org is the website, or email ajnjamaica60@outlook.com for more information. I'm hosting that one as well. So, Evo, are you ready? What a way I can fill the gap. If you want me to do the washing, don't call me, not really. Friends, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, this evening. Let's hear from Evo. Continue.
Greetings in the mighty name of His Imperial Majesty. Jah, how you doing? Are you ready? Yeah, man, I'm going to do the first song, and it's my own original. And the name of this song is called Determination. But before I sing, I'm going to tell you what the song is about. Do you want to know what the song is about? Let me all say, yeah. Yeah, man. You know, some people in life, they would love to give up because they don't have the faith to carry on. But this song that I'm going to do is called Determination. And what I mean, whatever you have to do in life to let your life be progress or be successful, you got to use determination as your transportation to reach your destination. What do you say? Let me hear you say, yeah. Yeah, man, I'm going to run it for you, and it goes like this. Hear this now. Life is one big road with a lot of signs. When you're going through difficulties, just have a positive mind. Don't let the devil lead you astray. No way. Keep trusting in the Lord and He will help you along the way. Ooh, yeah. Use determination. Come on now, sing it with me now. As a transportation to reach your destination, you've got to use determination. Hey, don't give up, my friend. Woo! Hold on to the end. Yeah! Message to the nation through the music vibration. The next one I'm going to do for you, while we have that strong determination, we'll need love and unity in our community. We need love for each other. Without unity, there is no way out. Unity is the only way to go through. What do you say? Let me have said, yeah. Yeah, man. I'm going to run it for you. Original. Oh, now. Are you ready? Yeah, man. Love and unity. That's what I want for you and me. Love and unity in our community. Love and unity. Only way we can be free. Oh, na 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 na. Hey. Whether you are black or whether you are white, let's get together and unite. No need to fuss, no need to fight. Unite together as one and everything will be alright. Hey. Love and unity, that's what I want for you and me. Love and unity in our community. Love and unity, that's the only way we can be free. Oh, na 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 na. Hey. Some fight for house, some fighting for land, some fight for women, some fighting for man. Church denomination against denomination, nation against their own nation. We need unification. Hey, love and unity, that's what I want for you and me. Love and unity in our community. Love and unity, oh, that's the only way we can be free. Oh, na 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 na. Hey. Woo. Yeah, man, get in the groove, you know. Woo. Oh, now. I'm talking to the world leaders, presidents and prime ministers. Divide and rule could only tear us apart. We need true love deep down in our hearts. And if you haven't got this love, you got to go, you've got to depart. Hey! We need love and more love. What do you say? We need love and more love. Whether you are black or whether you are white, let's get together and unite. No need to fuss, no need to fight. Unite together as one and everything will be alright. Hey, love and unity, that's what I want for you and me. Love and unity love and unity. And that's the only way we can be free. Oh, no, 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 no. Free like the bird in the tree. You and me living in love and unity. Sweet harmony. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, man. Strictly original. The next one I'm gonna do for you, peace and love. Say peace and love. Yeah, man. Where there is no peace, you're gonna have war. Where there is no love, you're gonna have hate. We don't want no hate. Hate cannot go through Mount Zion gate. We have to have love to make the Father above flow in us. You know, what do you say? Yeah, man. Let me hear some peace and love one more time. Yeah, man. It goes like this. Woo! Let me hear. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Let me hear say peace and love. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Well, all right. Love your enemies. Love your friends. Love your families to the very end. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Let me hear you sing it again. Peace and love in a Zion. Let me hear you say peace and love. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Well, all right. Love your enemies. Love your friends. Love your families to the very end. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Hear this. Hear this. Hear this. Hey. Love and unity. We need love and unity. Love and unity in our community. We don't want no grudge, envy, and divide mind. Entering my time, you got to put the hey, wheel, come again, man. When music nice after wheel, hey, 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 hey. Run it again, man. Rewind. When we say rewind, we mean rewind. Yeah, man, and come again. Yeah, man, run the track again. Woo! Hey! Let me hear some peace and love. Peace and love in the Zion. Peace and love. Let me hear some peace and love. Peace and love in the Zion. Peace and love. Well, all right. Love your enemies. Love your friends. Love your families to the very end. Peace and love in the Zion. Peace and love. Let me hear some peace and love again. Peace and love. Let me say peace and love. Peace and love in the Zion. Peace and love. Well, all right. Love your enemies. Love your friends. Love your families to the very end. Peace and love in the Zion. Peace and love. Yes. Hey, we don't want no envy, no jealousy, no malice and pride. Love and unity in our community. We don't want no grudge, envy, and divide mind. Entering my time, you got to put those things aside. We don't want no thief, no liar, no murderers. Put those things aside, let peace and love abide. We don't want no quarreling, backbiting, no vampires. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Hey, hey, hey. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. All right. Love your enemies. Love your friends. Love your families to the very end. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Let me hear that peace and love again. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Hey, hey, hey. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love. Well, all right. Love your enemies. Love your friends. Love your families to the very end. Peace and love in a Zion. Peace and love.
Put your hands together, everybody, forever.
Love and unity, we need love and unity.
Love and unity. I better not. Get carried away.
Grudge, envy, and divide mind.
Those things go.
Peace if we put down the gun, stop the gun killing. Put away the knife, now take your sisters and your brothers' lives.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Peace and love in a Zion.
Can I bring you down a little bit? So, friends.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Evo definitely brought some light. What? Yeah. All right. What we want to do? You can be doing this for us. So what we'd like is for those of us who are here, if you're still in my hearing, to go into the ship. We'd like to take a picture to kind of replicate what it may have felt like. So at the back there, Paul Rose, the donation from Paul Rose, the Windrush kind of Empire Windrush replica. So can I ask you to just go towards the ship and we can get a kind of group-ish picture. So make your way over. And while we're doing that, Evo says he's going to sing us a little bit more of One Love. Can I ask friends who are here on the balcony in the top to come over round towards the ship? Yes, ladies, that includes you three. You were enjoying the music. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'd like you to be up there because you look wonderful. Come on, girls. Come on, Moet sisters. Go to the ship. If you can get into it, we'd love you to go and take a picture. Selena, come on, get yourself over there. Thank you, friends. The orator, thank you so much again for today. Very powerful words spoken. Really good poetry. Eve, I don't know if you still have the energy. Can you get towards the ship so we can have a picture taken? I'm hoping you can't obviously get in it, but hello, how are you? Good to see you. Go towards the ship. The orator, go towards the ship.
Celebrating the Windrush generation. I am Carl. I'm here at the Legacy Center of Excellence, celebrating Windrush Day. Here with Breakthrough TV, trying to chat to a couple of people and see what kind of day they've been having right here at the Legacy Center of Excellence. It has been a wonderful day, so I'm going to try and see if I can talk to a few people and ask them how it's been for them. So, let me see. Got a few young people. Yeah. Gonna see Paul. Excuse me, sir. Can I talk to you, sir? Watch your TV. How is your day, babe? We've been celebrating. You're not on camera. He doesn't want to be on camera.
Hello.
What is your name, sir?
Des O'Connor. Des O'Connor.
Des O'Connor.
Yes.
How's the celebration been? How's the celebration been for you?
What, here today?
Yes.
Well, I didn't go to the unveiling of the statue, but I came to this event and it was wonderful.
And how did you enjoy the day?
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed meeting people from different charities here. Everybody who's excited about the Commonwealth Games like myself. I'm a volunteer and I've come here and I've met all these fellow countrymen and they're very excited about the Commonwealth Games. And we can't wait for it to happen.
And will you be playing any role in the Commonwealth Game?
Yes, I will be a meter and greeter at the Commonwealth Games. My job is to make sure everybody has a wonderful experience.
Marvellous. And I see you'll be looking forward to it, yeah?
I will be looking forward to it. And I've also enjoyed the Windrush experience today.
Yeah.
People telling their experience. It's very similar to my experience and my parents' experience.
Marvellous. And was you a Windrush child, would you say? Was you a Windrush baby?
Well, I came here in 1964.
So you was a Windrush
baby? Certainly, yes. Yeah. So I can associate with what everybody here was saying.
Marvellous. Let me say thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a great time, yeah. As I say, wonderful man. I'm going to try and see if I can engage with a few more people to see if I can have a chat with them. Shall I? Let me see if I can. wonderful lady here with me. Just gonna ask you, what is your name?
Mashara.
Mashara.
Yes,
okay,
Mashara.
thank you, Mashara. How's the day been for you?
Very good. This event has made my day better.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And I know you're not a Windrush baby. Has your parents been a Windrush baby?
My great grandparents are associated with the Windrush, but they didn't come directly on the Windrush.
Yeah.
But they felt the same kind of consequence of coming to a country that doesn't really appreciate their business and what they're associated with and their culture. So they struggled with acceptance too, similar to the people who travelled on the Windrush.
Yeah. And how's the experience been for you today?
Great. I love learning about my heritage and my culture, so I love it.
And talking about the Commonwealth Games, will you be taking part in any of the Commonwealth Games? Where will you be going?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be seeing some sport, and I've volunteered on behalf of the Commonwealth Games. So
You're a volunteer?
Yes, I've done stuff. So I've done an exhibition at Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, and it's for heritage and arts, and it's associated with the Commonwealth Games and decolonisation. So.
Marvellous. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Wow. So there you have it. Breakthrough TV. Once again, I'm gonna an artist here. Asha B. How you doing, sir?
Blessings, greetings. Everything's good. Everything is great, you know.
How was your day today?
Wonderful. We have health, strength, and life, so everything is good.
You enjoy the celebration?
Yes, man. Positive stuff. You know what I mean? And it's nice to see that. The generation, Windrush generation, whether it's the first or the second, talking about these and keeping these things alive. And so, and as I was saying earlier on, I was talking to a friend of mine and I was telling him that it would be nice to have something like Children of the Windrush.
Yeah, because we need to get more children involved, don't we?
Yes.
The generation, because I looked around and I thought, we need to get some more children involved. What do you think?
Yes, definitely, because we can't stop going, So you have to understand, say, our parents then come from Jamaica or from any of the islands all over, and most of them now have passed away. But they also left us with stories where when they came to this country, how them had so much bad experience. Everything wasn't so nice when they come, Some of them come. Like my father now, for instance, he said leave Jamaica and say yes to England Street paved with gold. And he said, boy, I don't want to gold him, they know was the one where the dog them leave behind, So we understand. We're not going to tell you what kind of gold that.
I understand, yeah.
But he said he had to, people like him and him friend them have to educate the English people take up them bread off of the doorstep when dog a piss pan that. You understand? And take up and milk and all them things that they used to have on the doorstep. And you have to experience where you want to rent a room. And they're saying no black, no Irish, no dog. This is real things. Him experience all. I don't think some people hear about some people called Teddy Boy. Experience all. I come from work and
on the skin of all them.
All right. I chase him down. And I have to walk with him, look a ratchet in his pocket. And not that he wanted to, he wasn't a bad man. But him have to hold him corner. And so him have to be sleeping in a room with all 5, 6, 7 people. 3 gone to work, 3 asleep.
Another is coming in to get the bed.
You understand? So bed warm all the while.
That's right.
Hot water buckle, paraffin heater, coal fire. No, many of them youth don't even know what a coal fire is. Don't know what a paraffin heater is. Them never know them thing. I would say the younger generation, our grandparents, our parents went through this to make us who is here now stand up and can build up and have a voice. A voice for this community and for ourselves as well, because we had to also come take over from our parents and turn even Jeddah Rebellion people, you know.
So we definitely need more young people to get involved in the celebration. I know you're at Simmerdown. Tell us when you're on at Simmerdown.
We're at Simmerdown, the Big Ship Alliance Band, on the 17th of July. Our performance, we'll be doing a 30-minute performance, and that is at 2 p.m. till 2:30. So come check it out, you know what I mean, experience the Big Ship, you know what I mean. And to those who don't know the Big Ship Alliance is, you can check us out on Facebook on our fan page. We're a Freddie McGregor tribute band, even though we play our own music as well. The reason why we even chose Freddie McGregor because Freddie McGregor is still one of the living legends.
And he's in a contribution album that celebrating the 60th independence of Jamaica. Marcia Griffith's Coffee, Freddie McGregor. And all those guys are in an album, you know what I mean, that's coming out, Okay then, Asha, let me say thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Steve, Carl with the Steve. We say blessings to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Keep on enjoying the celebration, Massive respect,
Blessings.
There you have it, Asha B. Let me see yours. I can actually talk to here. Okay, sir, I'm here. So tell me your name, sir.
My name is Paul Rose.
Paul Rose.
Otherwise known as Rosie, otherwise known as Dr. P.
Okay, Dr. P. I'm going to call you Dr. P. How's the day been for you today?
Very, very, very interesting. You know, I mean, it's something that should be done on a regular basis. The fact that we are here celebrating on Windrush Day and acknowledging the journey that our parents made back in 1948, and for us to be here in the 21st century is a joy and a pleasure. So I'm happy to be here.
So you enjoy the celebrations?
Of course, very much so. As you know, I don't know if you were aware, but it started from 9:30. We had to assemble at New Street.
Okay.
And there was it was unveiling of the Windrush, National Windrush Monument in London.
Okay.
We had a live feed from London to Birmingham, and so we were there celebrating it with the wider community and all over the country.
Marvelous, that's fantastic. Will there be more celebrations?
Will there be more celebrations? Of course. I think this is just the start of things to come.
Well, let me quickly ask you, what about the young people? Should we get more young people involved? As I was talking to Ashabi and he said that.
Yes, because they are going to be the next generation.
That's right.
That need to bring this to their generation. So we have to get them involved. We have to pass the baton on. But in order to do so, we have to educate them. Because I'm doing an event on the 25th of June, the 8th Suite, and it's a glitz and glamour ball. And the reason what I'm doing is I'm trying to embrace all community, especially young people. Because as you know, back then our parents, they set the standard in terms of how you conduct yourself, in terms of hard working, in terms of dress code, and things like that. So part of Saturday's celebration is about having that mindset that we know that we are here in the 21st century and time does change and we have to move with the time. But also we have to remind ourselves that it's their legacy that we have to take and move forward. So therefore we can't forget them.
That's right.
We can't forget the standard. You know what I mean? As you know, best foot forward, as my dad would say. So suited and booted, shoes well shined, seam well in position.
Thank you, Doctor. Fantastic.
Okay.
Shut me out.
Yeah, man. So you know the thing already.
Have a good day.
And the same to you, sir. Thanks.
That's it.
Wow, how you doing?
Hey, boy, that's you?
That's me, yeah. Well, I'm here with three giants. You know what?
You don't want me in the picture, do you?
I'm glad to see everybody is dead from COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
Quite a few people.
I'm here, the one with the wonderful. Could you look that way, please? The wonderful Beverly Lindsay. I'm going to call you.
The wonderful Dr. Beverly
Lindsay. No, I can't remember all your titles because I know you've achieved so much over the years. So I know we've come across over the years. So I know you will just leave me for that when not mentioning all your titles. You will forgive me.
It's my titles are the people titles. Because if they did not support me, I would not have any.
That's right. So how was your day?
My day was good, it started out quite early.
Yeah.
I was in New Street Station this morning for the unveiling of the Windrush plaque or statue, and it was quite exciting. It was so good to see so many people that I have not seen for many years. Yeah. And I just said to my friend, I'm glad to see that COVID didn't take everybody.
So I got to ask you the big question.
There are quite a few missing ones, but I was so happy to see some faces even just now that I have not seen for the last 3 years.
Yeah. I got to ask you the big question. Was you a Windrush baby or the parents before?
My parents before. They came up in the 50s.
They came up in the 50s?
Yes.
Mine came much later on.
I came up in the 60s. We are the second generation Windrush. Yes. And they were talking about the front room. And so we have front room, but the funny thing, when people talking about the front room experience, in my house, the front room wasn't locked to us.
Wasn't it?
No, we used to go in the front room on a Saturday morning and play records and dance, me and my sisters and my brother. Yeah. So we had the front room and it's still there. Well, funny, my parents didn't lock it away.
I don't think I had much as a front room. My parents were musicians and away from they did different jobs. I remember my father had a saxophone. You know what I mean? You could go into the front room, but you couldn't touch his saxophone.
Yeah. So my father was a drummer, but that's another story. You know my father. He's one of the best drummers. He was one of the best drummers.
I used to love to watch you.
And he was a good singer. He used to play with Andy Hamilton.
Okay, I know Andy very well.
Yes. I mean, I was the only person from the community that spoke at his funeral, Andy Hamilton's funeral, at the Symphony Hall. Serious? I was very nervous.
So you enjoyed it then?
Yes, I enjoyed my day. It started early, and as I said, it's good. It was quite moving, as somebody said, to see the statue. Yeah. And we all could relate to it because we came the grip. And if you understand the statue, it has the man at the front and he's looking a certain way because he came first, and then they sent for the lady, and you see, and then the children like ourselves left behind, and then later on we follow on. So that is what this statue, for me, the meaning of it, the transition, marvelous. And of course the grips.
So let me ask you.
I still have my grip, I think.
So let me ask you then, how do we get more children involved? Because I'm not criticizing but I think we need to get more children involved. How do we get more younger generation in?
We need to get.
So they bring something more into it.
With the children, you really have to start early.
Yeah.
Once they get to teenage and get independent, they really haven't got that same
zest or empathy. They got other things to do.
Yes, they are, and they're more. These young people are entrepreneurs.
The whole technology thing has taken over.
Yes, and they're becoming entrepreneurs, and so it's all about money, and they're not that interested. But if you start early with them, I think you need to really start early in the school and at home. Teach them the culture. I chair the Jamaican organization among other things that I do, and I try to get young people in the church to do things, learn songs for the independence. Every year we put on the independence service.
Marvelous.
And they learn. We have young people who can recite the national pledge. So if you give them that pride from they're young and get them to understand, and you celebrate with them, they will come up. Some of them will come up and follow into our footsteps because Erin and I have gone. We've come and gone. I am going.
You're going.
You're not going anywhere.
I've come and going.
You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
We really need to get young people to follow in our footsteps, but it's very hard. Yeah. But you have to train them because in the other cultures, I've had Muslim kids working for me, and they still maintain
their own culture.
They're going to do their prayer on a Friday. They want to do, in Ramadan they're fasting, and but we don't instill that because I suppose we were so brought up as British, and we don't have any.
So we get into that.
We got diluted.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I was watching a program last night, and it was actually talking about that in this sort of Asian culture, and it was absolutely marvelous how everybody sort of getting involved. And when they came over, what they do, they get involved in spice and how they've developed to what you call entrepreneur.
That thing on BBC too.
Yeah, that's right. It was a marvelous program.
But we allow our children more or less to dictate to us.
we become soft.
Exactly.
We become soft, and we allow the government to
banana.
We allow the government to grow up our children.
Yes, yeah. But the Asian, as I said, they maintain their culture and they maintain that discipline in the house. And so, yes, it has to start at home.
Yeah.
It really has to start at home, and we're missing a trick.
Isn't it the fact that...
Oh, it's a soccer master. How you doing, sir? Sorry, I didn't introduce you.
He was my first crush when I was a young little girl.
Serious? I'm not going to ask you what happened.
Nothing at all. When you're young, and the man, like fellas a little bit older than yourself.
And I'm tall.
Then they don't even notice you. You're there, you're the heart, a flutter, and they don't even see you.
You recording that?
And your heart just go boop, 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 boop.
They used to practice the music next door to where my mother still lives in Hansford. My mother still lived in the same house in 1916.
Okay.
And we still have some of those gram. She still has a gram. Yeah. And I think we have the drinks trolley, but it was more modern than the one that you saw in there. Mm-hmm. But so we've gone back a long way from back in the 60s. But nothing happened.
We belong to a unique group of people at that time, won't you say?
Yes.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I couldn't help you mentioning about the Asian culture and how the kids and adopt, right, and embrace their culture.
Because it's in the house, it's discipline.
More than us.
Yeah.
The one thing the Asians have got that we haven't got, what they got above us, I say above because it's a good thing, is that, have you noticed, the Asian, all the culture is around their religion. Mm-hmm. Right? You got Muslim, everybody Muslim. Sikhs, in the Indian Sikh,
let me give you a hug on
the Indian, everybody is Sikh. On the Muslim side, everybody Muslim. Mm-hmm. But they all engage and keep the culture going under that heading of that Muslim. We as West Indian, what have we got? We have about 100 different religions.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I see that point.
We have about 100.
So we sort of get dragged all over the place.
We're fragmented. Yeah. You see, we are not getting our cultures together under a religion. Okay. And that's what the Asians have got. The Pakistanis, they have the Muslims, and the Asians have got
they have the Sikh, the Hindu,
the Sikh and stuff like
they
that.
Have, they keep up the tradition. But we got diluted even from before.
We have diluted, we have fragmented. Look, I was born a Catholic, and then I became a Jehovah's Witness, and then I was studying with a Seventh Adventist. And then.
So you've been around the block?
I have been around the block, right? So and still I still.
What are you now?
Well, I'm still looking. I haven't settled yet.
You're searching it. No, I was
looking for a religion.
Well, no, but the point I was trying to make, Sister Bev, is that if we had one.
Yes, we have.
We call a common denominator. One.
Yes. I got a tradition to follow.
I got to say, I agree with that.
Because even in the Pentecostal, you have the different New Testament. You have the prophecy. You have the apostolic. You have so many different ones, and so I understand what you're saying because yes.
I mean, even down at the center there, the number of different religious groups who come in there to either have a Sunday mass or Sunday preaching or some. I mean, we've got about maybe 5 or 6 different, and they come under the same They said that they're all Christians, right? Right? But they are divided. They have their own.
Yeah, because some of them believe, like the apostolic, the New Testament and the prophecy, they say, believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. For example, the apostolic people, they just Jesus only. They don't believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. His Son, Jesus is the one. So they speak about Jesus. You don't hear them saying, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. And yes, you have.
It is complex. It's complex. Well, Doctor, let me say thank you for that. Shake my hand.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this was an interview. This is a chat.
It's good. It's good to do that sometimes. It's okay, Master. I'm gonna leave you two alone now.
That's good.
I have to go back in. It wasn't an interview. It was a chit chat.
Sometimes you need to do that. Don't forget, this is not CNN. Sir.
Afternoon, good to see you.
I'm here with Philip.
Carl, good to see you.
I'm going to call you Philip. You don't mind. I know you got all your titles, but I can't remember all those titles.
No, don't worry,
so how are you?
I'm well, very, very pleased.
Tell us who you are, please.
Philip Murphy, Director of the Director and Chair of the Africa Millennium Center, New Style Radio.
Yeah. And how's your day been?
Been very good, very, very pleased to be here. And it really is good that the Legacy Center is still up and about and that it can mount a event of this kind.
And how was the celebration? Because I'm glad it started in the city center.
Yeah, I wasn't at the city center event, but was able to get there. But no, this was being very good, and that's what is so important about the Legacy Center, is that whenever there's an event of this kind, there's somewhere where young people, older people, and everyone can feel at home. And in Cypher, who's the chairman, we've got someone who's got a community at heart. So this is good. This is good. I'm hoping though that the Commonwealth game will help to ensure that organizations such as the Legacy Center of Excellence, and also indeed the organization I'm involved with, the Africa Millennium Center, New Style Radio, that there's some resources which gives the help to stabilize them in the long term, because there's a tendency for some of the events which are supported are short term. We really need to support some long term establishment like the Legacy, which was previously Drum, and of course the Millennium Center of New Style Radio. But I'm very pleased to be here. It's a good day.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Welcome, and continue the good work, Carl. And I hope Breakthrough TV gets better and better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Look up to yourself.
One of you look as if I'm going to take a picture of you, God.
I'm here with the wonderful Reverend Eve Fitz. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. It's been a long day, but productive.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how was your day? You already told me it's been a long day.
Well, it's been, because I did the funeral this morning.
Serious.
And we came back here for the wake.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that I also had an appointment to do a speech downstairs. So I enjoyed both events. Very different, but very enjoyable.
Very yeah. And I was talking about getting more young people involved, because I keep saying this. And how do we get more young people? I know things have changed and technology is different and all that sort of thing.
I mean, the church
how do we get more young people?
Well, I mean, I think that's a question that most clergy are asking. Yeah. That, how do we enable children, young people to be interested in church? I think if you can find the answer, let me know. I think the church has to be prepared to change.
Yeah.
And by that I mean...
I was going to say, in what context?
We're not going to get... I don't think the days when we have young people piling into our churches because we have a band or whatever it is, I think those days are not enough anymore. We have to find a new way. Maybe we have to go and meet them rather than them coming to us.
Yeah.
I go to the youth clubs. I walk the streets. I talk to young people. For me, that's just as valid as if I've called them into the building.
No.
So I don't underestimate the power of that. I spend a lot of my time on a Saturday walking the streets and talking to young people about being black, about loving themselves, about loving God and imagining that God looks like them.
Yeah.
And I find that very rewarding. Absolutely. And I give away books. So it's a new way of evangelizing. You know, I give them books to do with Black history. So I think the church has to be prepared to change.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, you know.
Totally. And what about because we see all so many different things, and I've got so I'm going to ask you this. We see all so many things happening on the street where young people sort of getting involved in some serious thing, what we call serious thing, a knife and all that. Is there enough youth clubs and all that sort of stuff?
Well, there isn't. Of course, there isn't.
For young people to occupy themselves?
There are one or two youth clubs scattered around the place.
Yeah.
But we know that there was a time. I grew up in a generation where, by heavens, it was youth club.
Yeah.
I went to youth club every Thursday night, every Tuesday night, and we had a wonderful time. Of course, the government of the day decimated that about 10 years ago, took away all the funding. I wonder why. I'm not saying that that's the only reason why many of our young people are going off the rails, but I think it's one of the reasons why we have young people who are lost. And I just wonder if our work-life balance. For me, my analysis of what's happening has happened to our young. For me, around about the 80s, when we started talking about black men being undereducated and underachievers, and there's this categorization of putting black women are the ones who were the achievers. That's when, for me, the division started. When we have this sort of black men are failure, all this stuff that has really done us a lot of harm. And I think until we actually sit down, not just to talk, but to find a way. I'm in this very wonderful position. I can stand at the front and say to black men, I love you.
Yeah.
When I take a funeral, I tell black men that they are loved by me. And I think it's rediscovering that we can love one another. So our children, I have the privilege of baptizing children. And every time I baptize a baby, I say to the family, I want you to stick around. I want you dads to stick around. Even if you and the mother fall out, stick around. So when I see you in the street and say, oh, how is the baby? I baptized the baby 2 years ago. Don't say to me, oh, well, me and the mother are not together anymore. I said, what, you left the baby as well? What did the baby do? And it is that, for me, a commitment to not being divided because we're educationally different. You may have gone to university and he hasn't, or vice versa. And we mustn't educate ourselves out of the community. That bothers me. Okay. That when we are educated, so often we marry out of the community. So for me, and all those fronts, those things have to change so we can bring back our young people to have a sense of pride like when I was growing up. When I was growing up, there was a sense of pride. There was a sense in which I grew up with the sort of Black Power movement and all of that, and that was really important to me, and it still is. And
so let me ask you then, the big question, was you a Windrush baby?
I'm the first generation of the Windrush.
You're the first generation?
Yeah. So, I grew up with those old black women who were fabulous women. Of course, at the time you don't
very far, very tough, weren't they?
You don't realize at the time, that they mean you well and they're giving you good advice, but because you think you know best. But being the first generation, when they're fresh from Jamaica, the things they've learned, it's fresh in their minds, and they're going to pass it on to you whether you like it or not. And it was tough. But by God, now when I look back, I think, aren't I lucky? Wasn't I lucky to have had a mother and all these women around me, who, if I came home from school and I was hungry, somebody would feed me.
And they issue good discipline as well,
absolutely.
I always say many times, actually things, what we have allowed to do is we're allowed the government, some of us, not all of us, some of us allow the government to grow up our children.
And I think I made reference to that earlier, that I think during the 80s and 90s, when kids were reporting on their parents, the parents and then put them in care, put them in care. That was the death knell of our community. And it has cost us dearly. It has been a terribly destructive experience for us. I don't know if we can find a way. Somebody was telling me today that, they're still taking little black children into care. For me, that's preparing them for the prison system.
That's right. That is right.
And I don't think it's an accident. I think it's deliberate. I think it's a deliberate policy.
Serious.
A policy that will divide us as a community, take away our boy children, turn them into potential drug addicts, are drug pushers, not all of them. And then when you break the back of the community by taking away their sons, and we're in trouble.
Reverend Chief, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trinity Road Church?
Trinity Road. Bradfield Road, Holy Trinity.
I've been here a couple of times, but your church is also so full you wouldn't notice me.
We do a lot of funerals, I must say.
Unofficial Bishop of Birmingham.
Yeah.
Unofficial Bishop of Birmingham. Thank
Lots
you.
of funerals. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Shake my hand. Don't leave me hanging. Thank you.
God bless. Okay.
You can't escape this man. He's the background of ACMC and New Sarah. You know Shannon is our technical...
I didn't know, I was literally...
He's a technical man.
I was literally just about to go. Big respect, sir.
Cypher, I'm here with Cypher, the man at the Legacy Centre of Excellence.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm going, how you doing? It's been a long time.
Blessings, King.
You give up the coat. you give up the long leather coat. He used to be a rocker,
Bro.
We go back years.
With the big hat.
And the big hat.
Come on, brother.
Oh, God, you remember?
I do, bro.
Good to see
I
you.
had more hair in them days.
I still got mine. So, how is it here for you today?
Bro, you know what, brother, I love to see, Windrush is something special to us.
Yeah.
It's like celebrating the greatness of our elders.
Yeah.
We're standing on I personally can say I'm standing on the shoulders of my elders.
Yeah.
Of what they did. They came to this country, the foundations that they built. These are our generals, these are our empresses, these are our queens. These are the people that we celebrate because they made something great out of nothing.
Yeah.
So for me, celebrating their legacy, that's the least that we can do.
That's right.
And I'm proud to be a son of the Windrush generation. That my elders my parents come directly from the Caribbean, come directly from Jamaica, come to this country and built a foundation and helped build this country and built a foundation for us.
For us, yeah.
So yeah, man, I think the Commonwealth Games team, Abigail and her team did a fantastic job, and I'm proud of all the partners and all the performers and all the people who contributed to making today such a great day.
It's been an excellent day.
Bro,
What's happening at the Legacy here? Tell us a little bit about what's happening at the Legacy and what's to come straight off here and what if you can remember.
Well, we've actually got the launch of the MBA program on the 1st of July.
Yeah.
We've also got Fashion Invasion on the 1st of July, Fashion and Show, Fashion meets music meets art. We're going to have another show on the 2nd. Then we've got a Youth Arts Festival in September.
Marvellous.
Legacy is going to be celebrating its 3rd birthday in September as well, so we're going to have an event around that.
That'd be great.
And then we've got a whole artistic festival in October called the Roots Festival.
Marvellous.
Yeah. So just positivity, brother. Obviously, also we got Black Pound Day in August, which I forgot. Can't forget that Black Pound Day, 6th of August on Jamaican Independence Day.
That's marvellous.
So.
What about the Jamaican Independence? You're celebrating? There's a big celebration then here.
Most definitely. We're going to have a party on the 6th.
Yeah.
Ours, we don't want to clash with other organisations who are doing stuff in the day. So ours, we're going to do Black Pound Day in the day, and then in the evening and the night time we're going to have a celebration, so that when people have finished the other celebrations and events that they've done, they can come to Legacy and party until the wee hours of the morning and enjoy the vibes. Yeah.
Cypher, let me say thank you.
Nothing but love and respect, King. Always
maximum respect.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. We know the runnings.
Manners and respect, King.
Thank you. Cheers.
That's the sunset time here.
Good afternoon.
Right.
I'm here.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. You're the organizer.
I am.
Abigail.
Abigail Shovington, yes, that is my name.
So how are you?
I'm good, tired, exhausted, but feeling very proud of what it is that we've achieved today. So yeah.
So let me ask you, you enjoyed the day?
I have, yes, I have. The day started off with our event at New Street Station, obviously the unveiling of the Windrush National Statue, something that's very poignant in our history as descendants of Windrush, but then be able to come to celebrate within the community centre, within our community, and in a location where many people in Birmingham came to work. That came from the Caribbean, my father being one of them.
Okay,
so
your father was a Windrush baby?
He was, well, not baby. He came here as a merchant seaman in 1949.
My days.
Yeah, and London was one of the first places that he resided.
Okay.
When he came here.
That's marvelous, man.
Yeah.
And how long does it take you to put this together, the whole thing? Because I mean,
a miracle in God.
I said, how long? It takes how long did it take you to put it together? When did you start planning it?
To be fair, this is something that turned around. It was something that we were going to initially contain a little bit smaller within kind of our office space and do like a hybrid event, and then from the feedback that we had, I felt that it was important that we respond to what the community wanted, especially in light of the games. A lot of the Commonwealth countries that will be coming here and travelling along this road to get to Alexander Stadium will be from the nations that our forefathers came from. So I think that it was important that we responded to what community members were saying to us and do something in a location that is well established and known within the African Caribbean community.
Marvellous. You're looking forward to the Commonwealth Games?
Yes, it won't be a point of rest for me, but
you'll be busy there as well.
I'm looking forward to welcoming, to connecting the diaspora. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the different African and Caribbean nations coming here. For them to see us, their brothers and sisters, their cousins, and see how it is that we do, and be able to host them in a way that I hope is satisfactory to them.
Marvelous.
So yes.
So if you're going to see a sport, because there's so many sports in the Commonwealth.
Oh God!
If you want to go to see a sport, so let me say, which one would it be? Which one would it be?
Yeah, my bucket list. Men's 100 meters final.
How did I know? I know you was going to say that.
Everybody's probably said that, but since I was a mad athletics fan growing up. So, the likes of Daley Thompson, then moving into Colin Jackson, Linford Christie. Those are all kind of my era when, I was at school. People who were very much role models for me growing up, and so. That's always been on my list of events to be at, is the men's 100-metre final.
Yes. Abigail, thank you very much. Breakthrough CV, say thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Go and have a rest now. Okay, look after yourself.
I shall do.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Bye-bye. Bye. There you have it, lads. As I say, Breakthrough TV here, doing a live recording outside the Legacy Centre of Excellence, and it has been a wonderful day. A lot of people have been celebrating the Windrush generation. It has been a marvellous day. As you can see, all the people who I have actually talked to has had a great time, great celebration, and it's been absolutely marvellous. And let me say thank you for tuning in to Breakthrough TV. I want to say a big shout out to you, Breakthrough TV. I am Carl, and I said this is a very special edition of What's on Your Mind. Let me say thank you. Have a great night. God bless you all.
What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Star Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam Jam.
Planning an event? Do it professionally. Please contact Breakthrough Event Management Team and get everything under one roof for both indoor and outdoor occasions, birthday parties, bridal and baby showers, anniversaries, funerals, backyard BBQs and more. We offer a video and photography service, marquees, decoration and a PA system to hire, with popular New Style Radio DJs spinning old and new school hits. Please contact 07584 197 380 and book all your catering needs with Reggae Jam Jam catering service on 0787 244 3765. And remember, do it good and done.